How are you?
I'm fabulous, darling. How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Awesome.
I am super excited to have you on the show today.
I'm excited to be here. I'm stoked.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you're excited. So, for those who don't know, and if you're just tuning in, this is Cece. Cece is a financial specialist, investor, and entrepreneur. After a successful career as a budget analyst for the federal government, handling over $4 billion in federal appropriations for the U.S. Congress and the Department of Defense, she encountered a business opportunity that completely shifted her view. So can you tell me a little bit about you, about where you come from, your background, and what made you interested in getting into this field that you're in now?
Yeah, so, I'm born and raised in DMV area, specifically in Waldorf. And, I had like a pretty normal upbringing, like middle-class family. So, like, nothing too crazy. But growing up, my parents never, I had a lovely childhood. Like, my parents kind of spoiled my brother and I never really had to work too hard. But, like, my parents didn't really teach me a lot about finances. My parents both grew up really poor. My mom grew up in Mexico, came over to the States when she was 9. My dad grew up in North Carolina, but never really had anything growing up. So all they knew was like how to make money was to just work hard for it. So like they worked when they were sick, they worked when they were tired, and they worked when they were sick and tired. You know, so which allowed my brother and I to live a really nice middle class lifestyle growing up. But outside of that, I didn't really know anything about money. And so I think as I just kind of got older and I got exposed to other opportunities, really as an adult, just kind of getting exposed to different environments, I saw that there was a different way to make money, but I didn't know how to do it. All I knew was to go to work and I get a paycheck. But I knew that that wasn't going to allow me to achieve the vision I had saw for myself, which is multiple 9-figure earner. And so I was like, ain't no way I'm getting to 9 figures working behind a desk at someone's government job. So I was more intentional about seeking out different opportunities. It really wasn't until I actually started hanging around a different environment as far as my circle, my crowd, that like opportunities really started coming to me. So
which is really, really important. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's really important, and most people don't understand how important that is. It's because who you surround yourself with.
Well, so to touch on that a little bit, my old crew that I used to roll with, like, I was kind of like in the party scene a lot, and that really wasn't serving me. So, you talking about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and like 4-day parties on Sunday, I was out and about, drinking, not really being responsible, not really caring, just like living free. And so like the crowd I was hanging around wasn't serving me, and not financially, not in my goals, not personally, like nothing. We were just out here having a good time, being reckless. And so I just kind of got tired of that environment. I got tired of the club scene. I got tired of the people I was hanging around. They had no money, but they were stunting like they were. Like I was like, y'all whack for real. Like this is whack. This whole facade is whack. And I was tired of faking it until I made it. I just wanted to make it. And so that's when I just kind of like sought out new opportunities. So I actually had a homie who kind of like who I used to party with a lot, and I saw him like take a hiatus. Like he went away for like 2 years, and I didn't hear from him. And then one day I went over his house, and we were just like kind of catching up, and he introduced me into this financial market called foreign exchange. And he told me that like he didn't really know much about it yet, but he like started using this platform. And he put in a trade, and then he went to sleep, and he woke up to $4,600 in profit. And I was like, prove it.
Teach me.
Prove it. He showed me, and then I was like, say less. And I like I signed up with the same platform that same day, and it's been kind of like magic ever since. Being in the investing world and then being around other investors, other traders, it elevates your exposure to certain things, to certain business opportunities, to certain mindsets, because the mindset of a wealthy individual is completely different from the mindset of an individual just going to 9 to 5, just focus on, I'm just here to get a paycheck, goes home and watches Netflix for 5 hours after work. It's completely different. So that's really what kind of sparked my interest and got me into the field of investing.
Okay, nice. That's amazing. Thank God for your friend who showed you.
Yeah, and I mean, and actually, now, my whole circle is completely different. My mentors are 8-figure earners. I have another mentor who's a 9-figure trader.
Nice.
And just being around multi-millionaires and being around people who have that same passion, that same vision, that same drive, that's what, and people who are hungry kind of like you, because not everyone's gonna share your same passion and your same hunger. And so for me, I had to get around other people who are eager to hunt, and who are as hungry. And so that's just what's allowed me to achieve my level of success, and I'm barely even scratching the surface.
Nice.
So yeah.
That's still good though. So if you had a piece of advice for somebody who's interested in maybe investing or the foreign market exchange, what advice would you give to them, to somebody who's just starting or who's interested in getting started?
First thing first, you need money to invest.
Okay.
I get a lot of people coming to me all the time, and they're like, I want to start investing, but I ain't no money. And I'm like, oh, well, you're not ready to invest.
Yeah.
And that's not me trying to downplay them, but it's just facts. And so what I tell people who aren't necessarily ready to actually get into markets is to invest in yourself first and foremost. Because I don't care how much money you have, if you're not in a space mentally to be able to make wise decisions and have the discipline to really start generating actual wealth and multiplying your income, it doesn't really matter. If I can't trust you with $1,000, how do you expect me to trust you with $100,000?
Right.
So I think for individuals kind of just getting into it, invest in yourself. Do a lot of personal development.
Yeah.
I know with me, it started with podcasts. It started with who I was listening to.
Right. The research portion, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's who I was listening to, who was feeding into me, switching up my circle. That's an investment to yourself too. So I think first and foremost, investing in yourself. Now, if you are in a space that you actually can, you have some change to actually start getting into markets, I advise people so a lot of people think of investing as stock market and real estate, but there is a whole nother realm of investing, which I didn't know about, which is Forex. So a lot of people don't know that Forex is actually the largest financial market in the world.
Okay.
It's a $5.3 trillion a day market. And that's a day.
Oh my God.
In comparison to the stock market, the stock market is only a $20 billion a day market. And so, and also, foreign exchange is more of an instant gratification market. So I can put in a trade, and then I can get out of the trade within a few minutes and make a couple $1,000s.
Okay.
Whereas,
is that anything similar to binary options?
Yes.
Okay.
So binary options. I mean, even stock options. So you can trade. There's different styles of trading.
Okay.
But it really is just about educating yourself and getting educated on how to trade. And so it's also about knowing yourself. That's part of the personal development style.
Yeah.
So Forex is high risk. Traditional stock market buy and hold strategy is a little bit lower risk. So it's really just about what you're looking to do.
Okay.
And also I say seek guidance. I think people underestimate and undervalue financial help. Financial advisors, financial planners. I think everyone just tries to figure it out on their own, and it's there are people who actually do this for a living and who can actually give you some proper guidance on which direction might be best for you and your situation.
Nice. Okay, so you're a financial specialist, you're an investor, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, personal developer. How do you wear all of these different types of hats? How?
It's hard. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's hard. There's days where I'm just I wake up and I'm no. I don't want to do it today. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to like lay in my pajamas in bed and just like scroll through Instagram. Okay,
I feel you.
But that's not realistic.
Yeah.
I think what keeps me driven and what keeps me going is my vision for myself. And also, like, my why. People hear, like,
I was gonna ask you
you have to have a strong why.
Yeah.
I mean, my why is, a big part of it is me. I'm my own why because I used to be a habitual quitter. Like, everything I started, I used to quit. Like, whenever I got a little hard, I was like, nah, there's something over here that might be better for me. I'm just gonna go over there. And what that does is that it really, like, diminishes my confidence and my ego when I do that. Ego in a good way. And so I was tired of quitting. And so I wanted to see something all the way through. Also, because I didn't grow up having a lot of financial literacy and like knowing about money and how money flows, how to make money, you know what I'm saying? I'm so hungry to like get information about that. So that's part of it. But also, my mom, so like I take care of my mom. My mom is an educational assistant for special education. So my mom only makes $28,000 a year. Nice. I was making more money as an intern than my mom was making at a salary job for the entire year. Yeah. So, and like growing up, my mom was really dependent on my dad, you know, financially. And so kind of like seeing that and also seeing the dynamic of my parents, it wasn't necessarily the healthiest. Like,
I was going to ask you about that because I saw your YouTube video and I was going to ask you about that, so I'm glad you're speaking on it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I had great parents. Like, they loved, like, my parents loved me. They took care of me, my brother. But as a unit, you know, they weren't necessarily the healthiest. Like, my dad, great man, great provider. As a husband, and so I kind of saw that dynamic growing up and how my mom, I could tell there was moments of her that she wanted to leave, but she couldn't because she was scared financially. She didn't have any money. So like, she was like, where am I going to go? I'm dependent on this man. So I saw that growing up and I was like, it just kind of like triggered like weakness to me. And so I wanted to make sure I wanted to be nothing like that. So I became the complete opposite. But taking care of my mom, so being able to provide her a life that she's never been able to live before, that's also like a really big factor for me. So I just think that keeping that at the forefront helps me. And then whenever I am feeling kind of down, I do a lot of personal development. So one of the books that I like to read a lot or actually listen to is a book called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And it's really a book about mindset, the mindset you need in order to create wealth. Because people think that we create wealth by working for it or, you know, opportunities, but really wealth is created in our mind. And what people don't understand is your thoughts have more power than I think a lot of people are cognizant of. So whatever you think about most of the time will actually come to fruition in your life. The law of attraction. We've all heard about it, but it's actually really real. And so, you know, anytime I'm feeling down or whatever, I just make sure that I fill myself up with things that will uplift me and that will encourage me and inspire me again. And also, I'm telling you, one of the biggest things is also my friends. I have some dope friends. I mean, super, super awesome friends that are super uplifting, also encouraging. A lot of them are entrepreneurs as well. So
is this the Divine Nine?
So we're actually called New Bays.
New Bays. Sorry.
But yeah, so my girlfriends, and it's crazy because a lot of my girlfriends now, like my core girlfriends, are new, like kind of new into my life, but it's very intentional, and we're all also spiritual. So we all love Jesus. And
you know what? All of that positive energy, I see it. Like I see it in you. Like you're just glowing of like love and positivity, and like I see it.
I don't allow any negativity in my life. I don't allow people to speak negative around me, and if they do, then I just politely excuse myself. Or I'm not so polite sometimes. I'm like, hey, yo, all that negativity, you need to cut that out right now. I'm not here for it.
And you're allowed.
I'm allowed to do that. And so it's like, so it's those are like, I'm very intentional and mindful and conscious about being positive majority of the time, almost all the time, actually. So
that's what's up. Yay. So, okay, so this is my last question because I'm curious about it. So, when you are investing, and I see that because I follow you on Instagram and I'm always looking at your story, and I see like you're in these conferences for like hours at a time, and like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, how is she doing this? Like, so is this a field where you really have to study patience and be patient even when you're looking for the money to come back? Is this
so I mean, generating wealth is about patience. People want to get rich quick nowadays, and there's no such thing as getting rich quick. If you talk to any super successful wealthy individual, they didn't happen overnight. It took them 10, 15, 20 years in order for them to actually see some returns on their investments most times. So yes, I think a lot of what I do requires a lot of patience. It requires me to be committed and to be disciplined, because a lot of people, when they don't see the instant results, they're like, oh, this doesn't work, I'm gonna go off and do something else or whatever. But when them not seeing it all the way through is actually hindering a lot of their success. And so for me, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I mean, this is the largest financial market, so it behooves me not to learn how all this money's being made in here. And so I was just really intentional, like, I'm going to master this. So I knew what I wanted. A lot of people don't even know what they want out of life. Like,
and it's normal.
It is normal. But the truly successful individuals, they know what they want. They have a clear vision of where they're going and what they want. And so I knew what I wanted, and then I just made a decision that I was going to be disciplined and committed to achieving that, and just seeking out other opportunities to help my advancement, seeking out mentors, seeking out other people who were on the same, road as me, and just, linking up and just doing dope shit along the way.
So are you open to, or are you a mentor to other people?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I typically work a lot with women close to my age, just because I can relate to them. But recently, I actually collaborated with a friend of mine who has a nonprofit that helps high school youth. And, I went over with them, it was maybe 2 weeks ago, and I was talking about financial literacy to them, and these kids were sharp. I mean, super sharp, and it really just lit something up in me, because I was like, if I had someone like me, who was just raw, real, and authentic, talking to them about money and really how to go out and make some money, I can guarantee you I'd be a multi-millionaire by now. Yeah. And so,
because they'll listen to you. Because you're not that far,
removed
in age, and you're pretty, and listen to what she's saying. You know what I'm saying? So,
So I think, I typically mentor a lot of women, in their mid to early 20s, but now I'm really interested in also mentoring, teenagers that are going into adulthood as well. So
that would be really nice. All right, so we're going to do some one-word responses. I'm going to do 4 one-word responses.
Okay.
I'm going to just ask you a question just to help people get to know you a little bit better, something fun.
Okay.
All right, so how many tattoos does Cece have?
Child. Is that my one-word response? I lost count. I got a few removed.
For real?
Too, yeah. So it's maybe 26.
Wow, dang, I can't. Well, okay, I see one.
A lot of them are covered.
Okay.
The ones that you could see, I got removed. I got lasered off.
Okay. All right, nice. All right, city or suburbs?
City.
Really?
Yeah.
It's too loud for me.
I love it. I love the city. Yeah. Hands down.
All right. Single or taken?
Taken.
Yay. As you should be. All right, so the last thing is, if you had 30 seconds to tell the world, your followers, your friends, your family, whoever, if you had 30 seconds to tell them anything or to share anything with them, what would you say? And you could look in the camera when you do this part.
I would definitely say, first thing first, figure out what you guys want out of life. What are you really striving for? What's your purpose? What makes you happy? And really pursue that. I think a lot of us nowadays, especially within our generation, are so focused on the perception of success without actually wanting to achieve success. So I challenge you guys to, maybe take a step back and do some self-reflection and to figure out what is it that you really want out of this beautiful thing that we have called life. You don't want to wake up 10, 20, 30 years from now and then realize that you've been an extra in your own movie called life, all right? So you want to be the main character, okay? And so whenever you do figure that out, do everything that you can to really go hard and execute on achieving whatever that passion is, okay? I'm not just talking about, journaling it or like thinking about it. Like once you journal it, because I think that's important, go out and execute on it. Even if it's like you don't know how you're going to do it. It's all about failing forward, right? So failing forward allows you to learn along the way in your journey and really just trust the process. We always hear this, but truly just go through the process and trust that something beautiful and great is going to come out of it, okay? So also be a student, always consistently learn from those around you, from your experiences, read books, listen to podcasts, fill your mind with things that are actually going to serve you and not a lot of this dumb bullshit that we see on Instagram nowadays. And just, try to challenge yourself.
Yay. That was a great message, and so I hope everybody tunes in. So yes, thank you so much, Cece.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
When you say that money make the world go round, well I believe it, cause my life is feeling upside down. I just need a little change, little change. I just need a little change, little. They say that money make the world go round, well I believe it, cause my life is feeling upside down. I just need a little change, little change. I just need a little change, little change. I bet that liquor only help a bit, cause by tomorrow morning everything is back to shit. 9 to 5 just for a job that you probably gon' quit. Couple hundred on the check that you probably gon' split.